Not a good sign when your portfolio is red. And what is happening? NVIDIA is taking a bit of a nosedive, about down 9%. And what is causing this? Well, if you look down here at the trending news, the big thing is DeepSeek. It's this whole China versus US. What's real, what's not? And what DeepSeek is saying is that at least their V3 model, because we're talking about DeepSeek R1, and if you're not aware, this thing is kicking ass. Like you can see here at 9.4% accuracy of the humanities last exam, a new benchmark on a variety of questions that require a lot of logic and reasoning. It's outperforming O1, which, mind you, costs $200 a month to get access, Gemini, Anthropic, X, and even the GPT-4o model. And that's a big deal because DeepSeek is completely open source. If you go here on the Chatbot Arena LLM leaderboard, it is the first one to appear on top of the leaderboard with an MIT open source license. I got the 14 billion parameter model running on that machine behind me, which only has 24 gigabytes of VRAM on a 3090 Ti. So being able to get the reasoning capabilities of, let's say, like an O1 completely free, except for the power that I got to pay, is absolutely insane. But that's not even really the reason why it's taken a dive. It's this statement that DeepSeek keeps saying that they're training on just a few $1 million worth of chips, which goes against what people are thinking as far as we need more compute, we need more chips, so to train, to build more advanced models that rival those of our adversaries or just other people in the world so the US can stay on top. And China only has access to what's called the H800 chips, which is I don't want to say a dumbed down version, but it is not supposed to be performing to the level of H100 just because of export control laws. But here's where the information goes back and forth. Scale AI, who is a huge player and partner with the Center for AI Safety on Humanity's Last Exam, so notable name within the industry, is saying that they have it on good authority. Alexander Wang said in an interview on CNBC, without providing any evidence that's of note, that DeepSeek actually has 50,000 NVIDIA H100 chips, which he claimed would not be disclosed because that would violate Washington's export controls. Like I said, they shouldn't have H100s, they should have H800s, and that banned such advanced AI chips from being sold to Chinese companies. DeepSeek did not respond to a request to comment on the allegation, but they seem to be sticking to the story that this costs 7-10% of what like an O1 would cost. Or even, so they're saying they have like a few thousand chips that this is trained on. What I love about open source models, especially like what Meta's doing, is the fact that they disclose everything from tip to tail of how the whole process works, including their training. So if I go down here, it'll tell me, where are you at, Mr. Compute? Somewhere, let's see. If I just search H100s. Okay, compute. Llama 3, 405 billion parameters trained up on 16,000 H100s GPUs. And it's not even performing, it's hard to say that's not in the same league, it's very close, of that of the DeepSeek R1 model. Like this is an LLM versus like a reasoning model that should have more advanced capabilities. But to be trained on less and perform somewhat exponentially higher than Meta's Llama models is something that's interesting. So that's kind of what's going on here. And again, objectively, this thing, no matter what benchmark, DeepSeek is just outperforming. So if there is any truth to the fact that China's company DeepSeek was able to develop a model at 7 to 10% the cost, that would be not great, because even on Project Stargate getting announced, $500 billion in AI infrastructure, starting with $100 billion in Abilene, Texas, with OpenAI, because the whole idea is investment in chips to get more compute, get these GPUs from a company like NVIDIA. But if that's not the case, and we actually don't need that much money, that's why you see this. For me, this is, again, personal. I don't think that there's full disclosure from DeepSeek on how many GPUs it took to train this. Not that I'm an expert in the case. It just doesn't make a lot of sense why all these brainiacs here in the United States need so much compute. And if you understand how things are trained and you can see the process, then you kind of correlate like, okay, yeah, it does take a lot of this parallelized processing to do the training, to run all the calculations. things aren't just adding up. So I think there's a little freak out. It kind of just gives you a sense of the speculation in the market. You've got a lot of individuals who don't actually understand AI, or they're just taking flyers and investing because it's the thing to do, follow the trends, doing sort of algorithmic trading. And that's why you see such a reactionary to an event such as this, where a lot of people are freaking out about the compute and it just falls off the cliff. NVIDIA may be a little overhyped in this space, but I think this will subside and we'll get more information. And then you'll see the next model domestically here in the US get released, outperform DeepSeek, and it's going to be a back and forth. Just got to stay calm and objectively evaluate the situation.